To this, only the winner go through, but each and every man in this field is either a reigning or a former major champion. Only Zhen of China doesn't hold a current medal. Odair Santos of Brazil, silver in the 5,000 here. The reigning world champion, he's won that crown for the last 4 championships in a row, going back to 2006 in Assen in the Netherlands. He's the reigning Pan Am champion as well in this, from Toronto. Nuno Alves of Portugal, bronze in the 5,000. Here's Samwel, KIMANI, who won the 5,000 here and who's the reigning Paralympic Games 1,500 meters champion. James Boyd is his guide, his coach Ruth Chimo. Zhen of China, former Paralympic champion in this 15 and the 5 from Beijing, and the reigning Asian Games champion Shinya WADA of Japan over the 8, the 15 and the 5. Nuno Alves, the former 5,000 meters European champion, silver in the 15. As we're underway, it's WADA, ZHANG, KIMANI, Alves and Santos, and again it is only the race winner who's guaranteed to go through. And if they didn't know before, and of course they did, they know now, the athlete has to cross the line first. We had 2 disqualifications earlier. Let's see what pans out here. It'll be a very, very interesting race over the 3 3/4 laps, and massive support coming for the Brazilian here, Odair Santos, and his guide, Elitin Nascimento.
So it's Zhang of China taking up the early running. Santos drifting a little bit wider on the track and taking him now. So Santos, to the delight of the crowd, takes the lead, and the Kenyan KIMANI follows him through. That moves Zhang back to 3rd position, and Portugal's Alves is 5th, and Japan's WADA is in 4th position. So Santos for Brazil, milking the support for all it's worth.
He's giving the crowd a lot to enjoy. KIMANI, real class act. Might allow Santos as much time in the spotlight as possible, but you can see where KIMANI is. Perched right behind, striding, breathing down the neck, stalking. Odair Santos in the lead for Brazil. The crowd are loving this. At least 25,000 inside the engine now again today. KIMANI in 2nd place. Bit of a gap back to 3rd. Zhang has fallen back into 4th now. Looks to me as if Shinya WADA has moved up into 3rd for Japan, but it's still Santos striding out in front for Brazil. His guide alongside him, Nascimento, and KIMANI in 2nd place, and we've 2 laps to go.
Well, it seemed that Santos and Nascimento, the guide, asked a question of the Kenyans with a bit of a burst down the back straight, and the Kenyans responded. They're right on their heels still, with KIMANI and Boyd, athlete and guide for Kenya, still sitting where they probably want to be, and it's at least 20 meters now back to WADA of Japan. So it's really down to these 2.
Brazil have really revelled in being hosts of this Paralympic Games. They've already won 5 athletics gold medals. They've won 11 overall. Santos looking to be a big contender here. Little bit of a gap opening up, but KIMANI not allowing it to develop. There's a huge gap between the top 2 and the rest, where WADA is pushing up all the further. The Asian Games champion from Incheon from 2 years ago. He's in 3rd place for Japan, and in 4th for China's Zhang. The bell is on the way. Is KIMANI ready to bounce? Santos, he's going to take the bell for Brazil. They're on their feet all around the stadium. Those braving the sunlight, many thousands more in the shade. KIMANI still keeping a good pace behind in 2nd place. He looks very comfortable. Santos has given the crowd a lot to enjoy so far. They've been winning medals left, right and centre in the athletics. They've been great hosts. They've been great fans. 167,000, a record inside the Olympic Park yesterday. KIMANI beginning to put his foot down, but the call has come from the guide, Nascimento. Santos has to push it on. KIMANI poised and ready to go on the outside, and now he does go on the outside in the closing straight. Santos still has a bit of work to do. Here comes the acceleration from both men, and KIMANI's in a bit of trouble, but now he finds his stride. Out in lane 3, KIMANI's going to win for Kenya, and Santos in trouble. He'll cross in second place. Well, 4:04.51. That's a very good time. KIMANI, the world record holder, wins at the Paralympic Games champion. Santos in second. Third will be WADA, and fourth will be for China, Zhen, which means Nuno Alves will come through in fifth place for 4:04.50. And KIMANI did, to be honest, what I think he was all going to do, Steve.
I think so. He was sitting where he wanted to be through the last couple of laps as Alves of Portugal comes across the line. And, you know, a smart race run by Samwel KIMANI and James Boyd, his guide. They were happy to sit behind Santos. Santos had a long stretch of enjoying the crowd support, but he didn't have the kick that was at the disposal of KIMANI. Waited till he was in the home straight, KIMANI, to make his statement. And at least these five all got away cleanly. Zhang's bolt to the front didn't last too long. And it boiled down to Santos and KIMANI.
Well, it's good news for Santos. 4:05.34. He's the fastest loser at the moment by a long way, because 3 athletes from the first heat have been disqualified. Valenzuela has now also gone, so the athletes who crossed the line second, third and fourth and that have been disqualified. There's a good chance with this very fast heat that a lot of the athletes in this will go through. KIMANI wins, Santos second, WADA third. Always precarious in this T11 race because the athletes, complete visual impairment, they're totally blind, they have to rely on the guide. And I'm sure they've got an extra non-visual spatial awareness as well. Santos actually did very well in that.
Yeah. KIMANI, he timed his run to perfection. It seemed he and his guide knew exactly what they wanted to do. Sit second, sit handy. Every surge from Santos was well answered by KIMANI. Never let him get away and ease past him.